G'day everybody, my name is Lowell and welcome to the channel. So we have a reaction video for us today. This is going to be why this is the most controversial chili in America. So let's jump in. Let's have a look at this.
For most of the world, chili is supposed to be thick, spicy, and eaten with a spoon. So naturally, the people of Cincinnati looked at that tradition and said, "What if we poured it on spaghetti, added cinnamon, and yelled at anyone who used a knife?"
Cinnamon? Okay.
Said, "What if we poured it on spaghetti, added cinnamon, and yelled at anyone who used a knife?" And somehow, it worked. Which is why today we're taking a look at how Skyline Chili works, when it absolutely shouldn't. But before we get into the most polarizing bowl-adjacent food in America, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History Food channel. After that, please leave a comment and let us know what other regional foods you would like to hear about. Okay, bundle up, because it is about to get chilly.
Okay.
For those who have never encountered Cincinnati chili before, the first reaction is usually confusion, followed by an unnerved suspicion of whoever recommended it. And that's because calling Cincinnati chili chili is less a description and more a marketing strategy. It's like if someone poured gravy over pasta and said, "Relax, it's Italian chili." You can object, but the name is already on the sign. And now you're the weird one for asking questions. The point is, Cincinnati chili is like a teenager who's heard Pig Destroyer for the first time. They both refuse to play by society's rules. Traditional chili, or chili con carne, is thick, chunky, aggressively savory, and meant to be eaten from a bowl with a spoon. It's warm, rustic, and has ingrained itself so deeply into the fabric of American culture through cook-offs and diners that many now group it with hot dogs and apple pie as an American mainstay. Cincinnati chili, however, is another story. It's thin, sweet, and has a smooth consistency that borders more on sauce than what most people usually picture when thinking about chili. In fact, if it were a touch more red, you'd probably mistake it for something made by ragu. And that difference is where the controversy...
It is very thin, isn't it? It is very, very thin. I'm just thinking eating those hot dogs with it on. You'll be wearing most of it. Okay.
You'd probably mistake it for something made by ragu. And that difference is where the controversy begins. To chili purists, Cincinnati chili feels like a lie. It's not spicy enough. It doesn't have the right texture. And chili definitely shouldn't be anywhere near spaghetti. To a real chili-phile, calling this chili feels like calling a hot dog a sandwich. That's because Cincinnati chili is best described as a spiced meat sauce wearing a chili name tag. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. So first, a little history. The story of Skyline Chili actually starts with the story of Empress Chili, founded in 1922 by Macedonian immigrants Tom and John Kirijev. Empress Chili was one of the earliest Cincinnati chili parlors, named after a nearby burlesque theater, which definitely seems like a more appropriate use for the name. Empress is pretty much solely responsible for standardizing the Cincinnati chili style. The thin sauce, the spice blend, the spaghetti pairing. Empress did it all. Their chili was affordable, fast, and approachable, everything a good regional food should be. And to be clear, they were not trying to create a regional identity. They were just trying to make rent. But in doing so, they accidentally invented a genre, which kind of makes them the Dark Souls of restaurants. But after they found success, almost every subsequent chili parlor took their cues from Empress. In fact, one of their most important contributions was accidentally training their own competition. We speak of one Nicholas Lambrinidis, a former Empress employee. In 1949, Lambrinidis realized that, using Empress as a blueprint, he could open his own restaurant and build a chili empire. To that end, he opened his first location on Glenway Avenue in Cincinnati's Price Hill neighborhood, where diners could see the city skyline. He then decided to name the place after said skyline, which was kind of a stroke of genius because there's nothing a community loves more than being recognized. It's the same logic behind your favorite band showing up at the county fair and shouting, "Hello!" fill in the blank.
Hello, St. Louis!
That's Springfield, Stephen.
Yeah, right.
And the vision was as simple as the food. Fast service, consistency, and a welcoming space. The original menu was tightly focused on chili dishes, conies, and a few other basic staples. No distractions or gimmicks. The wheel had already been invented at Empress. Skyline just needed to turn it into a unicycle and ride it to success, metaphorically speaking. Anyhow, Skyline wasn't an overnight national sensation. In fact, at first it was just one of several new places where working off the Empress model. Other chili parlors like Dixie Chili and Camp Washington Chili also emerged, each with their own tweaks and diehard fans. But over time, Skyline was the one that became iconic. By the early 2020s, it had around 160 locations, with a majority in Ohio and additional restaurants in Kentucky, Indiana, and Florida. It expanded carefully, staying mostly regional, which was absolutely a strength and not a weakness. One of the biggest mistakes new restaurants or any independent business can make is expanding too quickly. Not to mention...
Man, that's a lot of cheese on that. I love cheese as well. That's a lot of bloody cheese. It looks good, though.
Mistakes new restaurants or any independent business can make is expanding too quickly. Not to mention the fact that part of what keeps local businesses like Skyline afloat is the food tourism of it all. If you could snatch up their grub as easily as you could a Subway sandwich, you'd be less insistent on making sure you get it when you're close by. At this point, you're probably wondering what exactly is in Cincinnati chili and what makes it different from chili con carne. Well, right out of the gate, the beef is ground much finer than most traditional chili recipes. So fine, in fact, it more closely resembles the grind of meat found in Mediterranean dishes. And for Cincinnati chili, the meat isn't browned in a pan to produce a hard sear, but simmered in water to break it down into fine granules. That's what gives it its signature texture that's smooth, yet somehow still grainy, not entirely unlike a spoonful of grapple gravy. But the spice blend is where things really go off the rails. Instead of leaning on chili powder and heat, like chili con carne, Cincinnati chili pulls from your Nana's Mediterranean-inspired spice cabinet. Of course, everyone makes it a little different, but since Skyline is the McDonald's of Cincinnati chili, theirs is the recipe that everyone wonders about. Obviously, Skyline does not publicize that recipe, so breaking it down takes some guesswork. Cinnamon is certainly an important ingredient, but there's also allspice, cloves, and possibly nutmeg. There's also something in Skyline chili that leaves a distinctly sweet aftertaste. Nobody outside the company knows what it is, but for the benefit of people with cocoa allergies, they've revealed that it's absolutely not chocolate. Still, there's definitely something there playing on the back and forth between sweet and savory, like apple pie with a slice of cheese on top.
That would be weird, having spaghetti with the chili and cheese and like a little sweet aftertaste. I don't know how that would play on the palate.
Playing on the back and forth between sweet and savory, like apple pie with a slice of cheese on top. Just reversed here for maximum wonkiness. And there is, of course, also tomato paste. But it's not the star. And there are no beans in the sauce itself, which already disqualifies it from at least 3 regional chili associations, not to mention starring in any potential remakes of Blazing Saddles. That being said, contrary to popular belief, a lot of traditional chili doesn't have beans in it either. The famous...
I mean, that's always the argument I've heard. Do you have chili with beans or no beans? I don't know.
Contrary to popular belief, a lot of traditional chili doesn't have beans in it either. The famously shelf-stable ingredient has traditionally been used to pad out the dish and make it stretch further, like topping off your chicken and dumplings with cream of chicken soup, so you can squeeze another 2 meals out of it. Most importantly, Skyline chili, and Cincinnati chili in general, is not meant to stand alone. Eating it by itself would be like drinking a marinara smoothie. No. This kind of chili only makes sense when it's layered into something bigger, like hot dogs, or even more strangely, spaghetti.
Yeah, why spaghetti?
Why put chili on spaghetti? That is the question everyone asks, and the answer has nothing to do with culinary rebellion. It's all about immigration. In the early 1900s, Cincinnati saw an influx of Greek and Macedonian immigrants, and many of them brought recipes for spiced meat sauces used in dishes like pasticcio and moussaka, sauces that were already meant to go over pasta. But early 20th century America wasn't exactly lining up for Greek food, leaving mountains of olives and feta to run rampant through the streets. So instead of introducing unfamiliar dishes, those immigrants adapted their flavors to foods Americans already trusted: hot dogs, hamburgers, and spaghetti. Calling Cincinnati chili, chili wasn't about accuracy. It was about survival. Americans knew chili. They romanticized it in westerns, and along with grilling, some say it's one of the only dishes men felt comfortable saying they cooked back then. Chili felt safe, and it sold extremely well. Spaghetti is there because spaghetti is the Switzerland of carbs. It's neutral and doesn't ask questions. You can put literally anything on it, and it'll just just lie there and say, okay, sure, this is my life now. Which is exactly the energy Cincinnati chili needed. This same logic also gave rise to the Coney Island hot dog, another regional food that isn't from where it says it's from, and exists almost entirely because...
We did a video on Coney Island hot dogs. Okay, I learned that it's not from Coney Island. Okay.
Another regional food that isn't from where it says it's from, and exists almost entirely because, as any influencer will tell you, marketing is important.
Yep.
When it comes to what defines chili, there's no rules Skyline won't gleefully break. But when it comes to ordering chili, Skyline enforces their rules like an authoritarian dictator, solidifying their grip on power. They use what they call the way system, and the point of it is to make the ordering process as smooth as possible. How does it work? Well, instead of ordering chili, you order a number. A 2-way is spaghetti topped with chili. A 3-way adds a mountain of cheddar cheese, shredded so finely it barely counts as a solid anymore. A 4-way adds either onions or beans. And a 5-way adds both onions and beans, achieving maximum Cincinnati, where the city itself comes to life, rises from the ground to give you a high five, and shout, "Hoo-day," just before they shrink back into their beloved river. The system is efficient, elegant, and most locations feature a central service island where dishes are assembled in full view of the guests. It can all be a bit overwhelming for first-timers, but once you understand what's going on, ordering is easy. Until then, it might feel like you've accidentally wandered into a restaurant run by mathematicians, or possibly swingers. As for the menu, it has evolved over the years, adding vegetarian options that sub out the meat for beans, and some other cost-effective ingredients that can become either wraps or salads. It's like ordering a buffalo chicken wrap, then spilling it out onto a coney, like you're making some sort of Cincinnati Buffalo Power Ranger Zord. Much like with Mogwai ownership, those who buy Skyline Chili must obey 3 important rules. 1. Use a fork. No knives, no hands. 2. You accept that it will get everywhere. 3. You may add oyster crackers and hot sauce, but that is all. If you don't obey the rules, no one...
Is that what's in the bowl? Part of me thought that was cut up banana. I don't know why. Okay, so that's oyster crackers, I'm assuming. Okay.
Oyster crackers and hot sauce, but that is all. If you don't obey the rules, no one will physically stop you, probably. But there's a very strong chance someone nearby will stare at you like you just put ketchup on sushi. It's easy, and maybe not wholly inaccurate, to say that such behavior is bullying or gatekeeping. But while there's definitely a kernel of truth in that idea, there's also another truth at play. Sometimes people just want you to get the most out of an experience, whether it's food or not. Saying, don't use a knife to eat a coney isn't like saying, you must eat your steak medium rare. Because according to those who love it, part of the joy of Skyline Chili is the mess of it all. For them, it's an essential part of the experience, and there's something kind of blissful about pushing through the cheese and then smothering it in the excess sauce. With a fork, obviously. Don't be that guy. In Cincinnati, Skyline Chili is a beloved institution. It gives back to the city in a way few corporations do. It's the official chili of the Bengals, the Reds, the Cyclones, the Blue Jackets, and Kings Island. It also sponsors the Crosstown Shootout, inspires kids' costumes, road trips, and according to reports, even a few haikus. Those haikus could not be located, but here's one to try on. That's Skyline Chili, the pride of Cincinnati. Ain't it kind of weird? Leave your own Skyline Chili haiku in the comments below. Anyway, a downtown cocktail bar once turned Skyline Chili into a whiskey drink, essentially a Manhattan with house-made chili bitters. Why? Well, certainly because of its local cultural cachet, but also because every time a bar turns a cheap regional food fave into a $20 cocktail, a bartender gets their wings. Or vest, one must assume. But outside Cincinnati, people lose their minds. Anthony Bourdain, quite possibly the most celebrated locals-only chef of all time, and the subject of Weird History Food video, Anthony Bourdain's most controversial food opinions, called it a mutant hybrid. But he did so in a positive way when trying to explain the local favorite to a non-believer. In fact, Bourdain went so far as to call it America on a plate, after waxing philosophically about its immigrant creation story and geographically diverse ingredients. Still, some disagree. A Titans fan held a Cincinnati Chili Sucks sign during an NFL playoff game, which the Bengals ended up winning, for what it's worth. Broadcasters have gone viral calling it disgusting chili gravy.
First, the disgusting chili gravy, And this is supposed to be food that you actually eat.
Even Cincinnati locals have written op-eds declaring their hatred for it. And that's because Cincinnati chili has become a representative of the city itself. So if a fan or broadcaster wants to express their dismay, it's easy to take a swing at the cinnamon-tinged chili, which, yeah, fair. But Skyline continues to exist, completely unfazed, because that's what happens when you make something so polarizing. It becomes a lightning rod, inviting as much vitriol as praise. Skyline Chili works because it's not trying to be everything to everyone. It doesn't explain itself. It doesn't apologize. It doesn't care if you hate it. It's specific, regional, and stubborn in the best of all possible ways. As more and more restaurants become homogenized corporations, it's generally endearing to see someone so steadfast on sticking to their own roots. Like Chicago's Malort, widely considered the worst booze in history, Skyline is happily polarizing. It doesn't want to blend in with the crowd or evolve into something universally loved. It's content to be a testament to the fact that you can take recipes from your past and merge them with your present to create the future. And for people who grew up with it, it doesn't taste like chili, it tastes like home. So what do you think? Is Skyline Chili secretly brilliant or just confusing?
Very interesting. Very interesting. And like he said, you know, they're not trying to be what it is to everybody. That originally it was just to make money, you know. Obviously the immigrants came over, made it with what they knew and what America was eating at the time, you know, the spaghetti. But it does look like a spaghetti sauce with cinnamon. I don't know how that would taste. It is very thin compared to, you know, what you see, you know, as other chilies. Because chili you just normally eat by yourself, eat the chili by itself. So, but obviously you need this one with something else. So I don't see you sitting down eating a bowl full of Cincinnati chili. But interesting video, interesting local food, Cincinnati chili. Obviously it's got its, you know, people that love it, people that don't like it, people that actually hate it. So, you know, it's like anything, you know, you're either going to love it or hate it, you know. So, and as you said there, you know, it doesn't taste like chili to those who love it. It tastes like home. You know, it's that nostalgia element of it as well too. So, but very, very interesting video. Skyline Cincinnati chili. A little different to what I thought it was going to be. I must say, I never thought chili would have cinnamon in it. And a slightly sweet aftertaste as well. I don't know how that would go. And that big heaping of cheese on the top as well. It probably tastes delicious. I'd definitely give it a go for sure, 100%. I just don't know how the cinnamon would go. I love cinnamon. When you expect the cinnamon and it's like, okay, this is going to be a little bit sweet. We're going to eat it, you know, the cinnamon. But if you're eating something savory that's got a little cinnamon, I don't know. I don't know how that would go. If you had Skyline before, let me know in the comment section. Let me know what you thought of it as well too. So, guys, thank you very much for joining me today. Make sure you stay safe. And I'll definitely see you in the next reaction video. Oh, you're still here? You want more content? Why don't you check out my Patreon down here? You'll get plenty more content and some exclusive videos over there too. If not, why not check out this one over here?